Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to Wednesday evening satsang with Michelle and John. I'm an integrative life coach and spiritual teacher, and Michelle is also an integrative life coach, teacher, and an astrologer.
Yes. So I look at the planets to see what's happening energetically, which we're going to do tonight a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know about any of you, but there's definitely been something sapping my energy today. So Michelle's going to explain a bit about that.
Yeah, it hasn't been a high energy day for us, that's for sure.
No. So welcome as we reach the midweek point, and we maybe settle down into the meditative state before we go to sleep tonight. So that's very nice, yeah. So tonight we're going to start by just centering ourselves in the room, and then Michelle's going to give us a bit of an astrological update, and then we're going to talk about building our spiritual muscle.
And
Very
then lead
important.
you through a nice relaxing meditation at the end. So it's a quiet evening. There's a quiety kind of energy here. It's pouring down with rain here in Cape Town. It's been one of those snuggly kind of days. Cold,
Yeah,
rainy, windy.
but we're really grateful for the rain. Really
Yeah,
grateful
it's
for the rain,
beautiful.
yeah. And it's amazing because when it rains, it always appears colder than it is. And I mean, our temperature hasn't dropped below 16 today. That's not really that cold, 16 degrees. But it actually feels cold when you look outside and you've got the grey skies and the rain and things like that. So it's definitely been a quiet day today. A day for, just for being. Yeah, for being.
Not doing too much.
Yeah.
Nice
But-
to have you guys back. I can see some of you that we recognize. Welcome.
Yeah, hello Christine, I can
Yes.
see you
Hello,
there.
Christine.
Not that I can see, those icons are so small.
They are.
So what I'd like you to do is just, again, if you can hear us, just send us a little like or a heart, just so that we know that we've got people on the other side there. And also just tell us where you're from. We love to know, people we're talking to, where you're from, which part of the world are you from. And
Good. You're going to
Okay.
lead us in.
Yeah, so let's just start this evening satsang by doing the most important thing we can ever do in life, and that's by becoming present. And I know we've had maybe situations, circumstances today which have required some left brain thinking or some drawing on memory, and they're really great. They really are great to use that ability of the left brain's ability to anticipate and to strategize, and then we need that ability to remember, recall. But right now, let's drop them. We don't need, in this moment, any strategy. We don't need any remembrance. So let's just withdraw our mind from all other times and all other place and just become centered in the now, centered in reality. And reality is always accessible through the portal of the body, the physical body. I know some people that I've met on the spiritual path, they want to get out of the body. They want to astral travel. They want to go to other planes of experience. And I say, well, the real way into freedom, into awakening, is actually through the body, into the body, and the body is your direct connection with presence. So let's just do that, and maybe you want to gently shut your eyes and just focus on your internal environment. Just focus on what it feels like to be seated here tonight. This is a time of peace. It's the ending of the day. Become aware of any emotions that you hold within you in this moment. Maybe you have emotions of frustration or tiredness or sadness or guilt or regret or fear or anger. Those are two big ones at the moment, combined with anxiety. Those are big ones. So just become aware right now of what's going on inside your body. Ask your body to tell you what's happening. Feel any discomfort in the body, any aches, any pains. Just become aware of them. And if you do have any uncomfortable emotions or experiences going on in the body, just bring your awareness directly into that part of the body. So, for example, if you're feeling anxious, for example, ask your body to tell you where in your body is that anxiety. Where is it sitting? Is it sitting in your chest? Is it sitting in your kidneys and your liver? Just bring your awareness physically into your body and allow that feeling to be there. Let's just surrender 100% to the isness of this moment. And the isness includes everything that your body is feeling. Let us surrender to even the thoughts that are passing through our mind. Let's surrender to them in that we allow them. We allow them just to be. We allow them just to float through our awareness with no attachment to them. No need to cling on to them. No need to judge them, resist them, and no need to follow them. We just allow these thoughts, and we come back to how our body feels in this moment. And then we bring our awareness into the one tool that's so precious and so effective in bringing our awareness back into presence, and that's the tool of conscious breathing. So consciously take an in-breath right now and do it to the count of 4. And then take a long out-breath, counting to 6 or 8 if you can. Just let it all go, let it all go. So let's do that conscious breath again. Breathing into the count of 4. And releasing to the count of 6 or 8, just letting it all go. Become aware of your hands. Excuse me. Become aware of the softening in your body. Relaxing your shoulders and your neck muscles. And just soften into the present moment. Drop down into your body. And just allow this moment to be completely as it is in this moment. And give a moment of thanks for the privilege of being here tonight. Being in this community of like-minded people. There is a love, there is a connection, there is an unseen support, both physical and non-physical, that surrounds us. So feel a sense of gratitude for this connection, for the privilege of being connected in this way at this time, right now. And take a deep breath in. Take it right down to your toes. And a long releasing sigh out. Let it go. And gently, whenever you're ready, open your eyes. There we are. And how do you feel now? A bit more relaxed, a bit more centered, a bit more present, a bit more in love with life in this moment.
Thanks, John.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lovely.
Thank you.
I could have stayed there.
Yeah,
Lovely.
well,
It's like a drifty kind of place.
I'm sure I could hear some snores coming through as well.
Okay. So we haven't got much time. We've only got half an hour tonight. But I'll just give you a very quick update on the planetary energy, which some of you might have been feeling. I certainly have felt it. For the last few days since the eclipse on Friday, we've had the sun moving into what we call a conjunction, which means, well, it's actually not a conjunction, it's a square to Neptune. And basically it's been moving together, and today it became exact. At the same time as right next to Neptune, we have the planet Mars. So Mars and the Sun are both masculine energies, which is kind of our get up and go, and the way we radiate our light, our gusto, our vibrancy, how we shine our light out into the world, how we achieve our goals. It represents our power. Mars particularly represents our fight, to get up and fight and do stuff and go out there and fight the world. Both represent our energy. And when they're in an aspect to Neptune, that can kind of feel a bit fizzly. So Neptune is a very watery, very spiritual, very fine energy. It's a watery energy. And what happens when these two energies connect like they are right now is that it's almost like the sun is diffused. Our energy is diffused. Our get up and go gets up and goes. That's what it felt like today for me.
I think my energy got up and went today.
My energy did too. So maybe you didn't feel that, but for some of us we did. And it can feel sort of tiring. Your energy can sort of feel a little bit depleted. So that's on the negative side, if we want to call it negative. But on the plus side, it can actually, the connection with Neptune also relates to our spirituality. And it's the energy of all is one. So when we actually surrender to that energy, we can have amazing insights and true connection. And we can have a lot of more intuitive insights. We can be a lot more creative. We can get sudden downloads. So it's never all difficult or all bad. So really the theme for me today, and the theme possibly for our meditation, is surrender. And that's kind of what I'm going to lead in with, because we're going to be talking about strengthening our spiritual muscle. And for me, one of the ways that we do that is by surrendering, not by fighting and not by trying to make ourselves stronger. That's the physical. And the spiritual muscle really actually gets stronger by surrendering, because surrendering leads to trust, and trust leads to connection. So that's the way I see it. That's one of the ways that we can exercise that. So this energy is going to be a little bit, it's going to be around for about a week. Possibly not as intense as today, but we have access to, it's almost, call it download energy, call it connective energy that we may not have had before.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So it's to understand that, although we live our lives as if we are separate and disconnected, we're part of the whole. We're part of the planet, we're part of Mother Gaia, and we're also part of the cosmos. And the energies around us influence our moods, they influence our thought patterns. If you have to ask yourself, where do your thoughts come from? Are they all self-generated, or do you connect to maybe like a radio station transmits and then different radio receivers pick up? And I'm going to suggest that there is some sort of transmitter of consciousness that we tap into, and in different cycles we will receive different levels of consciousness or thought patterns that we can then interpret in our own physiology and psychology, but they will color our perception and our day and how we interact with different people. And so we will have ups and we will have downs. We will have times of huge energy and times of not so much energy. So this is all part of a cosmic pattern. And what we do is we tend to fight those down days. We fight those times when where we haven't got up, haven't got the get up and go. And that resistance does our body disharm. There are certain times when we need to relax and just to chill. And that is part of the natural cycle of things. And that's part of, I think, where we are right now is this year very much is a part of doing inner work. And the most important part of the inner work is the surrender to what is. Surrender to the feelings, surrender to the emotions, surrender to the outside circumstance that you can't necessarily control or manipulate. And surrender is the doorway through which we have to pass to achieve or to experience a new earth, an earth based on peace and love and connection rather than resistance and manipulation as the old world was.
Yeah, and I think it's a very misunderstood word, because surrender has often been seen as giving up, and it's not giving up at all. It's the opposite of that. It's actually saying, I surrender to this moment, and I accept this moment. And by surrendering and trusting and accepting this moment, I'm opening myself to source, to true connection, and also to love, to self-love. So, if we are determined to forge forward and force ourselves up the river, we're just going to get tired and we're going to get ratty, and it's just fighting the river. So what's the point? Rather, when the river's flowing down, flow down, and it'll eventually, do what the river needs to do. So it's really just it's about not fighting the energies that are around. And right now we've got, as I've said before, we've got a whole lot of planets retrograde. So things aren't necessarily moving forward the way we want it to. There is like a veil over things. There is a lot of not very much clarity at the moment. It is a lot of confusion. And some of us are kind of out peering to try and see what the truth is and what's going on. And we can't see it. And there will come a time when we will see it, but clearly not right now.
and then we have to do what Michelle suggested, is to trust. I think trusting is a very important part of the spiritual muscle, because the ego will not trust, the mind will not trust. It wants to control and manipulate and force issues, where developing your spiritual muscle is trust, is anchored, in fact, on the very rock of trust. And a couple of things you mentioned there was, one of them was paddling your canoe, and I know Abraham's teachings, Esther Hicks, she talks very much about not paddling your canoe up against the current, going with the current. It's the most insane thing to try and paddle against the current. So if the current is taking you in a certain direction, you need to be sensitive enough to listen to that and not to fight that current. And the other thing you mentioned about the mask coming down, and this is what we've been speaking about lately, is the word apocalypse, and that means for the veil to come down, for that which is hidden to be revealed. And it's so interesting because on Monday the World Health Organization, one of the scientists came out there and said that that there's very little evidence to show that we can transmit the virus if we're asymptomatic. We can only transmit it if you sneeze and you cough and you're sick. Then you can transmit it, as it is with normal flu. And so that then puts into question the wearing of masks. If you're not coughing and sneezing, then you don't need to wear a mask, and you don't need a social distance. And that is maybe the coming down of the mask. Maybe that's symbolic as well. There are many things in the universe, as above, so below. So there are many things that are being revealed at the moment. And I mean, the mask is just one of them, just one of them. But I believe that at this time, because we've been squeezed in such an unnatural way to go through this lockdown process, a lot of us have begun to question authority, begun to question the zeitgeist of the world. And that is good, because that's the veil coming down when we start to see what's going on behind the scenes. And I think it's one of the blessings that we're going through at the moment.
Yeah, and to bring yourself into that presence so that you feel the truth for yourself rather than rely on somebody else to tell you what the truth is.
Yeah, I know the older generation...
It's just confusing. And I mean, even the thing that you said that happened with World Health Organization, since she said that, it's immediately been retracted, or they've tried to clarify their position. So there's more confusion. But they're glimmers of light that come through, and the only way that we can really see them clearly is to go inside, and to follow our own truth. And you do that by being present.
Yeah. What I was going to say just now is the older generation, we very much been programmed to listen to authority. Very much. Someone out there knows all the answers, and all we have to do is listen to those answers. And so the older generation was very much manipulated by fear. The younger generation, less so, far, far less so. Although the media is very much stronger, I believe, in the younger generation, social media and things like that. But these are all aspects of that. So building our spiritual muscle, let's just talk briefly about that. And one of the things we can say about that is, if you liken it to, for example, going to the gym. If you go to the gym, you have to go repeatedly. You have to make it a part of your weekly cycle. And it's very important to make a commitment to going to the gym and working at a particular time, on a particular day, probably some people every day, some people 2-3 times a week. But if you want to build your physical muscle, you have to go to the gym and do a certain workout there. And so this is the same with building your spiritual muscle. I think we need to make a commitment. We need to make a commitment to setting aside a certain amount of time in our day. There are 48 half hours in the day. And I say spend at least one of them at least one on your spiritual work, and preferably do it in first thing in the morning, before the sun rises. That's the best possible time to do your spiritual work. You can extend it to an hour and a half, but definitely at least half an hour of spiritual work first thing in the morning, anchoring your awareness in the present moment and trusting that life has a plan for you. And I think if you start to do that, you will build up your resilience, you will build up your spiritual muscle.
It absolutely does. It sets your trajectory for the day, it sets your vibration for the day. I think we forget that we are energetic, we're electric beings. It actually changes our vibration when we actually set out like that. Yeah. And, one of the things you can do is do it before you get out of bed. Listen to a meditation or just drop into your own quietness. But do it before you get going, because once you get going, it's a bit difficult to then do it. So to do it first thing in the morning is often the best way for a lot of people. And then just before you go to sleep is another opportunity, even if it's just a few minutes, just to connect in with yourself, to connect in with Source, to say thank you, to be grateful at the end of the day. So to start the day by setting it up and by ending in the day just before you fall asleep, say thank you for all the things that I experienced today. Gratitude practice is a huge way to build your spiritual muscle.
And make it non-negotiable. This is, I do not start my day without at least half an hour. At least half an hour. I do not start my day ever without that. So it's a non-negotiable in my life. And if you start to do that, you will build up your resilience. You will build up your spiritual. When I use the word spiritual, I mean conscious awareness, your centeredness, your ability to respond from consciousness rather than unconsciousness. So it will build up your spiritual muscle.
Yeah, absolutely.
So would you like to lead us into a meditation?
Let's just tell them about Journeys of Awakening,
yes.
Our Journey to Freedom course. For those of you who've just joined us or who don't know about it, John and I are running an online course called Journey to Freedom, and we are sort of halfway through our first one, and we're running a second one, which is starting on the 25th of June, and the details are on our website. And there's different options there in terms of whether you'd like to just join us for the foundation week, which is free, and we'd encourage you to do that. It's free. You get some meditations, you get some journal questions, you get some foundational teachings, and then you can see if you like it. So please go to our website, it's journeysofawakening.com, and join us for Foundation Week. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, I would urge you all to take advantage of that free week. Come along and have a look at what it's all about. But we do know that from the people that are on the current course, the depth of awakening and awareness that's taking place within most of the people is truly profound and gratifying to see that we don't spend enough time looking inwards. That one saying, know thyself. That is really a major part of this, and we don't take enough time to do that. So this workshop, this course does give you the format to do that. We give you five modules every week, 5 modules, and you do journaling. And as Michelle said, you have your daily meditation. So we give you the daily meditation for you to do before you start your day, and quite a bit more than that. And then we have a weekly Zoom get-together where we discuss the week and we discuss where people are on their journey, and we give support to each other. So it's a great opportunity. This year is a pivotal year, I feel, in the awakening of consciousness. So do take advantage of that, the 25th of June. But go on the website now, journeysofawakening.com, and sign up for at least the free week anyway.
Yeah, I think if you've been on a spiritual journey for a while, like many of us have, this is the year. So if you've wanted to accentuate and accelerate your journey, quicken it, get break through, transform, transmute, this is the year. So whether it's our course or somebody else's course, or whether it's your own work, do make it a priority, because this isn't going to happen again in our lifetimes, I don't think. So this is a very big opportunity to do it.
Yeah, and it's not an expensive course. It's less than 200 Rand a week if you do the course. So it's really very affordable for everyone.
Yeah, and it gives you a sense of support and community, which is very important, and that ongoing, as John was saying, the spiritual muscle, which is developing that muscle over and over again every day. And that muscle does start to develop. And you do start actually integrating those tools and that connection into your day. So it's a really good one. So please join us there. And now we're going to meditate.
Yeah, let's do a bit of centering.
Short and sweet little. We've got how much longer we got? Yeah, we've got a few minutes. So I'm going to take you into a nice surrender meditation. So just take a nice deep breath in. And a releasing breath out. And on each out breath, see if you can just soften your body and release any tension, any pressure, any anxiety, any worry. Just let it go. Let it drop off you. Just let it fall off you. And you might want to curl your toes up quite tight. And then on the out breath, release them completely. Just uncurl them. And feel the release as you do that. That ripples through your body. And then on an in-breath, clench your fists tight, 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 tight. And on the out-breath, release those fists. Release the hands. Soften the hands. Just let it all go. Keep your hands upright so your palms are upward. And feel what that feels like in your body right now. Just being present here, now. See if you can luxuriate in that feeling. I'm going to take you on a short little journey, and we're going to go to a beautiful beach on a tropical island, and it's got a beautiful cove, so it's completely private, completely calm. The sea is that beautiful turquoise color, white sand, beautiful gentle sun, and you're completely safe. You're on your own, but it's just too beautiful for words. And you start to wade into this beautiful turquoise, clear, crystal water. It's warm and it's inviting. And the sun's glinting on it, like little millions of sparkles. When you get to about waist height, you feel the pull of that water. She's inviting you. It's the ocean, the source. She's inviting you to just lie down and float. And because of the salt, the water's quite buoyant. So you lie down like a starfish. Hands out, legs out, and feel the water supporting you. Feel yourself being carried, nurtured, held by this beautiful ocean. You can feel her rocking you very, very gently, like you would a baby. And all you have to do is float. And you might feel yourself being taken out a little bit, and then coming around and coming back in. Feeling the gentle sun twinkling down on top of your head, warming you, caressing you, loving you. Feel yourself connected totally to the ocean, to the sky. Right here, right now, nothing to do, just floating, just being. Complete surrender. And just feel what that feels like in your body. That's it. And then when you're ready, you can imagine yourself swimming or walking back to the shore, to the white sand, leaving all your cares in the ocean, letting the ocean carry them away for you, and bringing yourself back to the beach. Thanking the ocean, thanking yourself. And I'd like to invite you to stay in the surrendered space this evening. If you can, just be quiet for the rest of the evening. Go inside, be still, be at peace. Drift off into sleep when you're ready. Allow sleep to find you. Surrender. And take a lovely deep breath in. And a releasing breath out. Bring your attention back to your breath, back to your body, but without moving out of this lovely surrendered space. Just stay here. Another deep breath in. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes.
That was lovely. That really was beautiful. I'm sure a lot of them are still out in the ocean in that little bay.
Good.
Yeah, drifting around. I didn't want to come back. Beautiful place. Lovely imagery. Thanks, Michelle. Yeah. And just to ask you, if you're enjoying these sessions, please can you press like and share. Share this evening session. And tell your friends to join as well. I think we're building up quite a community here, and it's a connection of like-minded people and light workers, as I said earlier. And just share this video, and you never know the lives that you will touch by sharing this.
Yeah.
And we look forward to meeting up with you again on Sunday night for a longer session, and that's at 7:30 till 8:30 on Sunday night.
Yes. Lovely.
Enjoy the last few days of this week.
Take it easy. Surrender if you need to, and rest if you need to.
Yeah.
And you can.
Lots of love. Sleep tight
Okay.
and peacefully.